welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to figure out what is going on with the GTI and the coolant leak. I'm going to take the intake manifold off and have a look at the water pump. I can see the water pump right here, but there is literally like no access point that I could actually see if it's actually leaking or not. So I'm gonna take the manifold off and see what we can find. First things first, we're gonna take out this air duct, the intake, and now since I have the intake off, put away, now we're gonna try and get the intake manifold off. So I have to take out all the connectors and the bolts that are connected to the intake manifold, like this. A couple over here in the valve cover as well. Alright, we made progress. We took the bolts out of the intake and nuts, so the intake is loose right now. Disconnected all the connectors here. There's another one over here somewhere. These connectors, all these connectors. Took them off this bracket right here. Took this fuel line off, or I just have it snug on there, but took it off. What I tried, okay, you have to take this fuel line off. The car has another one of these, but like over here, like deep in here. It's a 17. I try to use this long 17, but it didn't work. I tried to move like this boost pipe out of the way, disconnected the boost pipe on the bottom, didn't work. Disconnected this coolant hose, it didn't work. So I'm gonna need a stubby 17 to get that out, and the intake manifold should come off, and we could see what is going on with the water pump. To the bottom you can't really see much, it's all covered in coolant. So yeah, this is the progress I made for day 1. See you guys in day 2 here pretty shortly. Alright, I got the manifold off. It was a pain, but I got it off. And here's the water pump. It was leaking from like around here towards the left of the housing. I'll put a clip in here. Now it's time to take the water pump out. I actually loosened the top 3 bolts. Now I need the bottom 2. There's a total of 5, but the bottom 2 are a pain. Also, I took off the belt. A belt, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a belt there that runs the water pump. So yeah, I'm gonna take those 2 bolts out. Actually, I'm gonna move this pipe out the way. This intercooler pipe that goes through to the throttle body out the way, and that should give me enough clearance to see where the 2 bottom bolts are at. Alright, water pump is out. I took that boost pipe that goes to the intake manifold or to the throttle body off, and got the water pump out. And if you see down here, right there, I feel like it was this union that was leaking. Where is that? This union. It looks like this water pump has been replaced, but this union was not replaced, because everything else on this water pump doesn't seem to be cracked, to be honest with you. But I am going to put water in here to see if there's any leakage coming out. Obviously I'm going to just put like tape or something on here on the openings. I'm pretty sure it was just this union that was, you know, like cocked, and it was just leaking coolant. It actually got worse and worse by time. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to do my research and see if I could reuse this water pump and just buy a new union, and obviously the manifold gasket and the gasket that goes right here to the water pump. Hopefully nothing is wrong with the actual water pump and the housing. Hopefully it's just this little union. As far as I could tell, it was this union that was leaking coolant, because obviously it's like the coolant leak is literally right here, is directly where this union is. So I think it was just the union. As you can see, it doesn't even like stay in there properly. So hopefully it was just this. See, even reversed is like doesn't even want to stay. So hopefully it was just this that was causing the leak. Alright, a couple days have passed since the last clip. I ordered the parts. I got the union, the water pump gasket to the block, and the intake manifold gasket. Today I am just gonna focus on putting the water pump on and testing it out. So I'm gonna do it right now. Put the water pump in, put these gaskets in. I'm actually going to clean the block up a little bit. I don't know if you can see it right there. Clean it up a little bit, get some Scotch-Brite, and just clean it. You gotta make sure to put a little bit of coolant right here on the seal, as well as the gasket. That goes here. That goes to the block, and this goes to the oil cooler. You gotta make sure to put a little bit of a coolant so it can slide easy and seal. Water pumps in, torque down to spec. Now it's time to put all the coolant lines back to where they go. Fill up the coolant reservoir and just push this like this to see if anything leaks. And if it doesn't, I'm put the intake manifold on and everything else, all these sensors and connectors and everything, put that back on, and hopefully start this thing and drive it. Everything's back on. I topped it off, squeezed it for like, I've been doing this for like 10-15 minutes now, and it's still topped off. I would keep on topping it off whenever it needs it, and so far I see no leaks. Underneath the car I see no leaks. This is just from when I installed the water pump, and I was moving the coolant hoses around. There is no leaks currently. I'm gonna put the intake manifold back on, get this all buttoned up, and maybe start it today. After installing the water pump, torquing it to spec, you want to put the belt on. And how you do that is with a 24 mil on the crank bolt. Put this on there, hold tension on the belt on the bottom side, and start cranking it clockwise. Yeah, clockwise. And it should slip in very easily. And after that, you're gonna put your cover on. Same deal, torque to spec. After you got the cover on, you want to put all your connectors somewhat on this side, because these connectors all go connected. Well, they're right here in this bracket on the intake manifold. Now I'm gonna put this. This is the bracket that's from the intake manifold. This goes, I don't know if you can see that. Where you at? Let's see. Right there. I would just leave it loose for now, and then we're gonna tighten it later. So let's put on the intake manifold. You want to make sure the intake manifold gasket is seated properly on the intake manifold, you know, all down, and we're good to put it back in the car. So everything is back on it. I'm sorry I didn't record anything because it's already dark from where I live. It is 7:55 where I'm from, and it's pretty dark. Everything's back together. I already started it, but here is the second start. heater all the way up on hot. Now we're gonna let it burp. And take it for a rip.